How's it going, everyone? My name is Steph, and welcome to the #1 wholesale course for Amazon sellers that is 100% free. A little bit about me: I started selling online back 6 years ago, and information was actually very expensive. I was paying for mentors and gurus, and come to realize not all of them were teaching all the exact secrets and processes to manage a business. They were kind of just explaining the bare minimum. But you're here today, and we're not going to cover the bare minimum. Now, in this video, we're actually be covering the full breakthrough of how to use Apex applications and why this is not just a software, but it's an actual foundation of an Amazon business. So whether you're doing online arbitrage or wholesale or just starting out or already selling, you're gonna see exactly why sellers that do $500,000 a month, $200,000 a month rely on such an application to scale their business. Not only that, even if you don't want to use the software, the videos we're going to be covering in our other videos that you will see right below is going to be on how to find suppliers, how to have professional settings, how to properly do purchasing and restocking. And if you guys are asking, what do I do for a living? I manage a team working on an Amazon business that does nearly $90 million per year. So I like to say that I know what I'm talking about. And truth be told, I am not a fan of all the other mentors and gurus that charge tons of money to teach BS examples of how to scale this business. So let's jump straight to it. Now, in Apex applications, we show you exactly what you need to see from first glance. This is your dashboard. We'll preview exactly how much money you have in your Amazon account, how many open orders, how much you did in sales, profit, ROI, margin, units sold, and gross profit per ASIN, all displayed here. And if you guys don't know what GPPA is, gross profit per ASIN, you really need to pay attention. This is actually the #1 measurable thing that we have to know if our business is positive when it comes to growing and scaling. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're shipping out 1,000 units a month and you have a sell-through velocity of 50%. That means you're selling 500 pieces every month. If your gross profit per ASIN is $3, well, 3 times 500, your business is making you $1,500 in profit. That's it. You're having multiple SKUs selling, you have a repricers, you're manually changing prices, you do not know the exact dollar per sale, profit per unit, but you have to understand the average, because when we're building purchase orders, when we're analyzing catalogs, we need to understand what is our bare minimum, what are our thresholds, and how do we measure this KPI nonstop to make us actually be profitable running this amazing business that it is. Yes, Amazon got harder a lot the last 2-3 years. But if you do everything compliant and do absolutely everything that we go over in this course video, there's 100% no way that you're going to fail. I know this because I talk to Amazon sellers on a daily basis, from people just starting out to people that actually have a full-scale business. And the process and systems are the same. So just copy everything that I'm doing and you will succeed. Now, here in Apex Black, you could also preview our review booster. This is, by the way, an automation tool. Just turn this on. That's all you have to do. It's a set it and forget it system. What this is going to allow you to do is every time your business gets a sale through the FBA model, it will automatically send an Amazon compliant request a feedback rating to the customer. This is going to help you capture more seller reviews, getting more stars in your business, which is going to help you get more trust with other Amazon customers and help play a role in the Amazon algorithm to help you win the buy box. Sometimes it's not just about the price, but about how many reviews does a storefront have. So just set it and leave it. As sales come through, it will automatically grow your reviews for your business. Not only that, if you have a product that for some reason is coming damaged or people are leaving bad reviews, just head over right here to listings, find that ASIN and turn it off for that automation. So all the actual system is sending the messages and compliant messages to the customers on products that actually are leaving your business 4 and 5 stars. That's it. That's the only thing you have to adjust here, and then you move on to the next thing. Now here, of course, we have Apex University. This is where you're seeing this video right now. All the other videos that we have is in Apex University. If you have any questions, just reach us out to a customer email. If there's a video we did not cover, if there's something that you're missing, this is what we do for our customers. We answer customer feedback and help them in whatever case they are with the most precise knowledge found in the Amazon market space. And of course, check out the books and resources. We explain actually the scripts on how to reach out to distributors, any Amazon compliance things, even how to read keeper graphs. And maybe for some of you guys that are already selling, this may seem very elementary, but from some of you people just starting out, this is very important to understand how a keeper graph needs to be studied before we place even orders with our distributors. You get me? So now, let's move on to the actual fun side of things. Now that's gonna be in Apex Blue. Let's walk through how an Amazon business works. Even if you're starting out, you have to reach out to suppliers. So right here, we're in the vendors page. Every time you find a new brand or find a new supplier, all you have to do is click add new. Okay? So let's pretend here we're gonna do test 1, 2, 3. And company website, we could do test123.com. Now, for some of you sellers that are already established, you may say, hey, why would I have to leave my company and import information from my distributors in a software that I don't know? You don't have to put the exact name of a supplier if you don't trust it. We are an Amazon SPN software. You can find us in the App Store, by the way. And that means that we have to have levels of securities to actually have our customers use the software with their database and have access to the Amazon API. Just an FYI. It is very important though that the software understands which products are coming from which distributors. Name them alpha, beta, omega if you don't trust the system, but you could definitely trust the numbers that the software is going to display in the next step. So, payment method, how do you choose to pay the supplier? This is all up to you, it's an internal thing. And here we have requirements. So if your supplier has an MOQ requirement, let's say $1,000, this is where you would add it, press add vendor, and now we have here our new vendor that we just did. You can click on this pencil icon and fill in some other information, such as the account name or sale rep or the email, any way that you actually reach out and contact to this distributor. This will help you out when you're scaling, if you already have VAs, if you have a business partner, keeping everything all synchronized. Most importantly, this is where you add the lead time of your supplier. This is fundamentally one of the most important things that you have to do here. Add the lead time, whether it's 7 days, 14 days. Reach out to them, call them, understand how long does it take from when I place the order for the items to arrive at my warehouse or prep center. That is it. Then you press save all. Now you're ready for the next step. What happens when we get a new catalog? Sometimes we might get them in a UPC format, and that's when we have to use a UPC scraper, or here a UPC scanner. Now, of course, Apex has a built-in UPC scanner, and here we're going to test out, for example, a KE catalog. By the way, this is how the software works. First, you add a new vendor, then you go to the UPC scanner and click New Scan. Then you select the supplier that you actually want to have. Let me actually zoom in a little bit. There we go. So, select a new scan, select the supplier, you download the template, and then you actually fill through everything, all the information. We have a whole video, by the way, on how the UPC scanner works down below, just to give you kind of an idea on how simple it is to use the system. So once you upload a UPC scan, it will find all the matching ASINs over on Amazon. So as we see right here, the software found 4,398 ASINs that match a UPC from our supplier's catalog. Now, the job is not done yet. It just got started. We have right here a filter section. This is where you want to go very broad. This is not the place where you narrow down based on ranking or by ROI to the nitty details. You want to go very broad. And here's why. Amazon is a marketplace. That means prices are always changing, ranks are always changing. So let's say I were to use a competitor software, Smart Scout or Scan Unlimited. I upload a catalog, I select the scan, the filters, and I download probable ASINs that I want to place a purchase order for. Congratulations, maybe next week, next month, those items and prices have changed. And what if you missed out on those opportunities? Does that mean you have to repeat your work and processes to jump back into it, rescan it again, and see the items that you missed out on or did not add to the other PO? We don't do that here. Everything is much more cleaner. First thing, just select the minimum profit. We're gonna do $1. And for rank, we're just gonna do very broad, 1 through, let's say, 150,000. I'll explain why in a bit. Some of you guys, and I hope some of you guys are already experienced sellers, that kind of scratching your heads like, why is this person doing it this way and not the methods that I've been doing it? I'll explain why in a little bit. But right here, for example, the software has found 187 items that meet these filter criteria, okay? Super simple. By the way, very important to mention, we have here a rows per page. My face is actually blocking it, but you see where my mouse is? Right, it says 1 out of 20. So you can actually select right here, and we could do, for example, 1,000 rows per page. So basically you can scroll through endlessly, so you basically have all things in one page. Once you have done this, all you have to do is select all of them and move them to the draft database. What is a draft database? I haven't even explained to you guys what a database is yet. So every Amazon seller that sells on Amazon has a Google Sheet where they have all the most profitable products from all their suppliers. The thing about Google Sheets is, yeah, they might be organized, but are the numbers changing in real time based on the current events happening on Amazon? Well, no. That's why we made the database. For example, right here in our database, we have over 10,911 ASINs that are currently being analyzed. And real time today, we have 3,866 profitable ASINs. Now, if I had some of these ASINs already in my business, this is the demo account, it will tell me how many I have. But right here, we can see profitable ASINs not in your store. Now, the reason why is that in Amazon selling, there's only two types of purchase orders that you can do in your business. One is a restock purchase order, meaning you already have data of sell-through velocity, how much stock you bought previously, how fast you sold it, so you can basically double down on the most profitable SKUs. So you're restocking. The other purchase order that we do is new SKU POs. That's it. Only two POs. And by the way, making purchase orders is the only way that we grow revenue and profits in your Amazon business. If there's one thing that you need to fix in your business to make more revenue, it is fixing the purchasing. How do you streamline the product research? How do you speed process the purchasing? This is what Apex does for people. Now, when you actually log into the database for the first time, all you have to do right here is click on the shipping costs and adjust it based on your location. If you have a prep center in California, New York, right, East Coast, West Coast, and right here, per pound, what we put 60 cents. That's a pretty above average spend price. Once we do that, the software is going to tell you the ASINs, the supplier, the UPC, the vendor SKU, the unit cost, the bundle quantity. This is very important. I'll go through it in a little bit. Basically, if the item is a 2-pack or a 4-pack, the software understands that. Because when we buy from suppliers, we don't buy based on the ASIN level, we buy on a unit level. So understanding that helps us place orders for our Amazon business. Now, case pack, as I mentioned, most wholesale suppliers, most brand direct will have 12 items in a case, 24 items in a case. The software understands that. It's very important that the software understands that because it will help us with our next process, which is how we build purchase orders. Yes, the software does that. The software does it all. I'm not even joking. So right here, we can see how much an ASIN cost is. Then we have prep type and prep cost, shipping costs, placement fees, and we get a landed cost price. That means it's the exact dollar amount that it takes to bring an item inside Amazon's doorsteps. Very important number to understand. So you don't need to have Google Sheets analyzing extra expenses. The software does it all in one. But 3,877 items is a lot. Now, this is where we open up this filter and really go in depth. So all I'm gonna be doing here is going to bestseller rank. We're gonna do one and let's do 90,000. I want faster selling SKUs. And for profit minimum, I'm just gonna do $2. ROI minimum, let's just do 20%. I'm gonna leave everything as is for this example, but then you press search. And right here we can see that we have 177 products across all of our suppliers that actually meet those levels of profitability real time. Now, what Apex does is also show you the current buy box price for 30, 60, and 90-day average. Super important because that means when we're looking at the profit value right here, you can see right here, this is a database breakdown. Right now we're calculating the current buy box price, right? So let's look at this item. So right now we're going to be making $3.42 selling at $24.63. 30-day average $24.63. 60-day average $24.08. Not bad. 90-day average $21.59. In a 90-day average sold price, I actually don't make my profit criterias. Very important to keep an eye on. I did not even have to open up Keepa. I did not even have to check the graphs. All I had to do was look from left to right, and I understand if my profit, my ROI, my margin are actually going to make me profitable in the long run following those historicals that the software provides. By the way, if the software is not showing any of the 30, 60, or 90-day averages, that means the product did not have a buy box. It does not mean it's a bad buy, it just means that there was no buy box or there was a buy box suppression. So keep that in mind. The software also shows you which items are meltable, hazmat. Let's see if we can find one here. Right here, this item is a meltable. So we can only ship this item 4 months out of the year. And if you're not in the hazmat product, in the hazmat program, just do not select items that are in the hazmat. We even tell you which items Amazon is selling on. And I know lots of new sellers may say, oh, I don't want to sell if Amazon is selling. That is actually a really big problem for people. Do not just look if Amazon is selling. Look at the buy box statistics. Have a Keepa Pro Plan subscription and check those stats. It's very important to do so. Because what if there's a product that is selling 10,000 units a month and Amazon is only holding 20% of the buy box, meaning 1,000 units are being distributed across third-party resellers, and you could be one of them. But because you had this idea that if Amazon is selling, I don't want to sell, you're losing out on tons of daily profits. Make sense? Awesome. So we're actually going to build a PO right here on the spot. So all you have to do is go through this round of filtration. Look from left to right, see if it qualifies. This item qualifies. Let's see this one. This item really qualifies. It's selling, oh wait, I looked at this one, my bad. So 19, 14, 15, 14, not that good. This one qualifies. It's actually selling a lot more in historicals. So we're just gonna click on all the items that make sense. Now here, we're losing $3 from 90 day to current, but we're making $7.89 in profit. This is a good buy. Now, this is not the all say final thing that we're doing. Again, look how quickly we're doing this. We upload a catalog, go from a UPC scan into the database, set up some filters, and now we're building a purchase order, cutting all the bandwidth, all the time, all the processes that most businesses have. This business is about speed. And the fact that people can build very big purchase orders within minutes just shows you that we know what we're doing. So right here we have also a great buy. Not that good. $12 profit, goodbye. So for this example, I'm just gonna select on these ASINs and then I'm gonna click create a purchase order. Now, what that does is we're gonna head over to the purchase order builder page. Here on the top, we're gonna show you a preview of all your open purchase orders. And we're gonna find the one that we just made. Let's see if we could go ahead and find it. If you can't tell already, I make tons of demos for people. So these are all ones that I literally do examples for. I'm just gonna refresh the page real quick. Wait 1 second. Let's see. This one right here. Everything is set to 0, by the way. And this is the date. This is today's date. Today is the 5th of February, 2026. So the reason why the software is showing all zeros is because we have to enter one more factor. How many units do you plan on buying? That's it. We already know the item is profitable. We're interested in buying it. Now we have to tell the software how many units we plan on buying. Now we can see right here we have case pack, again, entered from our supplier. By the way, if you guys made any mistakes, you can just click on the pencil icon, adjust the case pack, adjust the price, adjust the bundle quantity, and then save all, and the calculations will run. So you can actually just double check if your team or yourself have made a mistake when inputting a product into the database. Super simple. So let's pretend I'm gonna be buying 1 case of each. I'm just gonna adjust right here, 1 case, and you can see the numbers are gonna be changing real time. So I'm just gonna do 1 case of each. Fantastic. All right. Now, very big PO, I understand. This was just a test. Our supplier here is testing. So don't look at these numbers and think it's a holy grail. Again, this is the part where you have to check on every single product one by one, look at the statistics, look at the buy box, look who's selling the item before calculating how many units you plan on buying. But right here, for example, we'll show you exactly every stat that you need, the overall on how much your cost of goods is gonna be, how much revenue you're gonna make, how much profit, ROI, and margin in an overall, but also here on the individual PO level. If we don't like a certain item, let's see, what is the lowest ROI item? We have this one at 25.32. I can click on it and delete it. That's how we delete items from our PO. One more thing we could do is we can click add new ASIN. Now the software is going to find you other profitable ASINs from the same supplier, not in your PO. So you can just click on these and add to purchase order. So now you're building a PO. Without having to go back to the database, everything is all in one go. And if you're satisfied with this purchase order, if you're ready to pay your supplier, just select all of them, select what you want to download, click on this button right here. It will download here an Excel file. You can send it to your supplier, pay them. Once you pay your suppliers, click submit. When you press submit, it's going to move from an open purchase order to a closed purchase order. Now this is where you can actually attach the invoice from the supplier directly into the software. So if at any point Amazon reaches out to you with a product authenticity claim, all we have to do is search the ASIN. The software is gonna bring up exactly which product and which supplier you bought it from with the invoice. You download it, send it to Amazon, and you're good as new. You just have to make sure that you're buying from authentic suppliers, which we cover in other videos. Now, aside from this, we also have here in blue analytics, which I should have showed you from the beginning, but I really wanted to show you the workflow from how we add a supplier, from the UPC catalog to the database to the purchase order. It's a flow. This is not just a software, it is your whole business in a cloud. So here in analytics, we actually have two buttons, profit and loss and inventory. So in profit and loss, you're gonna see exactly how much revenue and profit you have made from any selected time frame, for example, which is very important. You wanna make sure, hey, am I gonna be making all these exact margins and ROI? Are my items profitable? So in this demo account, for example, it did $65,000 in revenue last year. Fantastic. I can see which items have sold the most, which one have brought the most revenue, and so forth. Here in inventory, we show you exactly how much money is sitting in FBA, but also this is where we restock. And look at this, GPPA, we show this number religiously. When you're building purchase orders, we want you to know exactly what is your gross profit per ASIN, because as you're selling items and prices are changing, you have a repricer, you're liquidating, whatever the fact may be, we want to show you exactly what is your KPI, how much are you doing, what is your gross profit per ASIN, and now are you maintaining an upward trajectory or keeping it stable? All we have to do is try to aim higher. That is it. That is it. So let's go to analytics, go to inventory. So because we added a vendor and then we added the products from that catalog in our database, the software knows which supplier is carrying which product. By the way, the software also understands if there's multiple suppliers that carry that product. Crazy, I know, right? It's a business. That's how it works. Sometimes you have a supplier that has the same products on another supplier, and then maybe this one charges less than the other one and you buy from him. Maybe that one is out of stock, so you buy from the other guy. Maybe you could do Dutch negotiating. That is when you call the suppliers and you let them know, hey, I buy from your competitor and they're giving to me at this price. Can you do something better for me? Negotiating is a very important part of this business, and we go over it in the other videos. Don't be scared to call your suppliers. At the end of the day, those guys make money when you send them money. Okay, they are in the business of making sales. You are in the business of making sales. It's a partnership. Okay, we're not enemies here. So the software is going to understand as you're selling items, and I really wish this demo account had more relevant data, but right here we have a sale through velocity. It's going to tell you exactly how many units you have in Amazon, how many are inbound reserved, and how fast you're selling out on. It's going to show you which ones you're running low on stock and tell you a recommended restock. So right here, for example, we should have some numbers. All we gotta do is click on the items to restock and hit create a PO. And without having to go back to the database, we can just select the supplier for these, select how many units. So even if this page right here had 20, 15, 40 ASINs from different suppliers, you select how many recommended restock units you want to have back in your business, create a restock PO, and in your purchase order page, you're gonna be able to see all your open purchase orders from all the different suppliers for your restocking plan. By the way, very important right here, we only have two buttons, making this one of the cleanest looking softwares out there that anybody can use. Create a restock once you have selected the items, and also restock settings. This is where we understand the lead time from the suppliers, because the software understands how many days of inventory you have and when you should reorder next. So if you put 7 days as your lead time, by the way, in one of the videos we have covered all about restocking. Very important. We go into the fine details on how this math works, and I hope this helps you out in your business. We add the lead time from the supplier. We also add the days of prepping. So how long does it take for your prep center, your warehouse to actually receive the item, prep it, and ship it off to Amazon? And right here, depending on how much money you have, if you're not so much liquid, do 15 days worth of stock. If you have enough money, if you have business funding, credit cards, whatever it may be, you want to go all in, do 30 days. That is the default. And if you're somebody that wants to be a little bit more laid back and does not want to place as frequent purchase orders, do 45 days. So you can schedule based on how aggressive you want to grow your business. I personally recommend doing always a 30-day default. That is how we stay the most profitable, how we have the most statistics and most data, and run a cleaner ship, not having enough money tied on inventory or sitting. But that is totally up to you. Last but not least, we have over here OPEX, your operating expenses of your business. So if you have VAs, if you are a smart guy and have an LLC for your Amazon business, but you also use the LLC to pay your phone bill, to pay your electricity bill, whatever it may be, add them here. I'm not a CPA. Talk to your accountant. Thank you. So if you're using Keep Up Pro Plan, if you're paying Amazon for the Pro Plan subscription, right here all your expenses. So do a new expense, select a time when you get billed. Title, we could do like, for example, Amazon subscription. If you are selling on Amazon FBA, there's two types. There is the $1 per unit, and then there's the Pro Plan, which is I believe $40 a month. This is where you would add it. For example, here I would add new category, Amazon. Amount, $39.99. Monthly, add. That is it. You added a new expense. Right here we could see all the expenses from this year. I could look, for example, previous year. This is a demo account. So if you add all these VAs and all these softwares, you see how much money you spent to maintain your business. When it's time to do taxes, export everything right here. And you export also your sales and earnings. You should be good to go. And if you have anything else that you're missing out, just make sure you talk to your accountant, to your CPA, so your books run very clean and you don't pay more taxes than you need to. So this right here is a gist on how Apex application is not just a software, but it is a fundamental tool on growing a business. So if you're just getting started, if you are looking for suppliers and you want to be organized, if you want to scale, if you already have a business, I really recommend creating an account, checking everything in, and utilizing it. This may change the way that you run your business. Before I started selling on Amazon, I had a different online business, which I'm not gonna lie, was a lot more fun for me. And I want to put a note on fun. I worked a lot less to produce more money. When I jumped into Amazon, it was a big headache. You had so many suppliers, you have so many catalogs, you're building purchase order nonstop, you're checking on your inventory, you're trying to get more reviews, you want to be compliant. It was a real business for the first time that I was actually dealing. That is why I had to build a software for myself, and then it so happened that the software, got very popular and people started using it and asking me about it, and I decided to build Apex applications. And that is why I'm building the #1 wholesale course for 2026 absolutely free. Because whether you become a paying client or not, at least you know if this is a good business for you and if you want to pursue it. Guys, thank you all so much for watching. Please watch the remaining videos. I don't talk as fast, at least I don't think so. Anyways, have a great day and I'll see you all. Bye.